So welcome to my class, and in this I'm going to explain producer's equilibrium when the prices are given. And yes, you guessed it right. What is it? It is perfect competition. Yes. So here there is a table. You're going to look at the table, and this is how we're going to do. This is perfect competition. Perfect competition in the sense that the price is given. So producer's equilibrium, let me repeat once again, it is unit 6 continued. Producer's equilibrium means that combination of prices and output which yields the producer maximum profit, and the profits decline as more is produced. Now profit is maximum at the level of output at which the difference between total revenue and total cost is maximum, and total profit declines as one more unit of output is produced. Now let's look at the table, which is based on the assumption that the producer can sell any quantity at the given price. He can sell any amount, but after all, which is the best possible output that he should produce? How many units should he produce? He can produce any amount at the given price. So in the table, the equilibrium is at 4 units of output. We find that the total revenue and total cost is maximum, that is rupees 6, right? And at the same time, profit starts declining as one more unit of output is produced. Note that although TR, total revenue and total cost, is also maximum at 3 units of output, but profits do not decline as one more unit of output is produced, and that is why he goes on to produce the other one. Thus, simple maximization of the difference between total revenue and total cost is not sufficient to ensure equilibrium, although it is also required that profit starts declining as more output is produced. So both these conditions have to be there. The implication is that if total revenue and total cost is maximum at more than one output level, the output level beyond which profits start declining is the equilibrium output level. So of course we don't, this is not in your syllabus, so we will not be doing this. So here, let's take the marginal cost, marginal revenue too. Okay, in the table as you see, let's just take the marginal revenue and marginal cost, which we have worked out with the help of total revenue and total cost. So what do you notice? Initially, marginal cost and marginal revenue at first unit is 10 and 10. Well, that is in equilibrium then. There is equilibrium. And okay, now we see that marginal cost is less than marginal revenue. It is 8 and 10. So what happens? The cost is less than the revenue, so it is good for the producers to keep on producing more units. So he goes on to produce another one, third unit, where the marginal cost is 6, which is less than 10, the marginal revenue which is given. Now marginal cost is less than marginal revenue. So again, the equilibrium hasn't been reached here. But look at when he goes on to produce the fourth unit, there is equilibrium, 10 and 10. So there is equilibrium between marginal cost and marginal revenue. And then when he goes to produce another unit, what happens? The marginal cost increases to 12 and marginal revenue is 10. Because it's given. So marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. So this is what happens. As you see, so when the producer produces 4 units of the commodity, he will be in equilibrium. Let's just take the graphic presentation without these units, because marginal cost and marginal revenue approach, and we have these two conditions. Okay, these are the two equilibrium conditions here too. Just can have a look. Now, so this is in accordance with the revenue behavior of the marginal cost and marginal revenue curves. MR marginal revenue curve is parallel to the x-axis because it is assumed that as output increases, prices remains unchanged. Okay, and marginal cost curve is the usual U-shaped, which we have learnt earlier. So it's U-shaped in the short run. Now putting both the marginal revenue curve and marginal cost curve together, we find that the marginal cost curve intersects the marginal revenue curve at two places, at W and at E. It means that marginal cost equals marginal revenue at two output levels, OQ1 and OQ2. Does it mean that both OQ1 and OQ2 are the equilibrium outputs? Yeah, you guessed it right, because the answer is no. Only OQ2 is the equilibrium output. It is because at OQ2 both the conditions are satisfied, that marginal cost equals marginal revenue, and at the same time marginal cost becomes greater than marginal revenue if more than OQ2 output will be produced. So MC is equal to MR curve is indicated by the point E, where marginal cost curve intersects the marginal revenue curve from below. So this is the true equilibrium. That marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue is indicated by the fact that the marginal cost curve is higher than marginal revenue curve beyond the equilibrium output OQ2. So why is OQ1 not an equilibrium? You can ask, why is it so that OQ1 is not an equilibrium, or the producer is not at equilibrium here? Well, it is because it satisfies only MC is equal to MR condition. It does not satisfy the MC is greater than MR after equilibrium condition. As more than OQ1 is produced, MC becomes lower than MR as indicated by the MC curve placed lower than the MR curve. So long as profit tends to increase, equilibrium output is not reached. Okay, so that talks about producer's equilibrium with the MR-MC approach.